Hello? Oh, I really need to move my microphone to the right spot. Because this is not... Hello? Hi. I know, I feel really pussy today. I really like the way I did my makeup. How we doing? We're gonna play some Mortal Kombat. Let me see if I get my microphone in the right spot. Fine. It's fine. Yeah, we're gonna play Mortal Kombat 1. We are sponsored today. Thank you so much to WB and Mortal Kombat and all my friends over there. Thank you so much for making this happen. Thank you so much for giving me the game to stream for you guys, and also hopefully some stuff when the game launches as well. Very excited for the future. So thank you to friends over at WB in Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm, everywhere. Thank you guys for the opportunity. So today we're gonna play Mortal Kombat 1 for a little bit. Then if we like it so much that I need to get comfy, we'll do an outfit change because these sequins are kind of rubbing into my armpits, a little uncomfortable, but I'm here to serve puss for you guys. So let's dive right into the game, shall we? Hi, Dynamite Sky. Thank you. Okay, I need to do a window capture. All right. It looks good. It's just the beta. There's like nothing like that we haven't seen. Like, don't think you're gonna get an insight. I mean, you'll see gameplay, but don't think you're gonna get like the exclusive leaked content. Like, it's not. It's just like gameplay. See what's what. It's a pre-order bonus. So also, if you would like to participate in the pre-order bonus beta, you can just pre-order the game now, and you should get access. It is only for PS5 and Xbox, I believe. I'm not sure if you can play on PC, but I'm playing on a PS5, and so graciously, I have one. Could you imagine? I wish. If I could hack into the game files, I would want to find Sindel. I need to find her. I need to bring her home. Yeah, that's what I was confused about. I was a little confused on why you couldn't do it on Steam. I wonder if there's... Maybe it has to do with, like, leaking stuff. So, like, hacking into the game files or some BS. Because we can't have any fun. Yeah, it was a Sindel main. I hope she makes it back. I'm gonna play my bitch Kitana.
Kitana.
Oh. That was really loud. Oh, I don't like the way Kano looks. Kano is usually really sexy, and he's bald and has, like, no facial hair in this one. Why am I so congested? I was fine before I sat down, and now I'm all congested and gross. I, like, feel it. Let's do Sonya.
Sonya Blade.
And we'll do medium. I'm not afraid of no AIs. Watch them whoop me.
Round one.
Especially after the tornado in Rhode Island the other day. Whoa, you are really loud, Mr. Game. I wanted to hear everything, but... It's still so loud, like what? Okay, this is my first time literally ever playing, so let's be nice. Maybe I should have done easy. Okay, stop gagging me. Oh my god, the counter! Not too much. Okay, WWE. Oh, Frost countered it. Did you see that? That was a nice combo. Oh.
I make it look easy.
Round two. Fight.
Glacial, thank you for the follow. Oh, I love the fireworks on Lee May. Love the look today. Thank you. Is there no music on purpose? Oh, please land. Nice. Oh. I need one hit and I win. Ah! No! Okay.
Finish her.
Girl, I don't know how to do a fatality. Down, right, down, circle. Nice!
Kitana wins.
Oh my god, the announcer is so fruity. Did you hear him? Kitana wins. Okay, this one's got a little sweetness to it. Okay. So like, what do I get for completing the tower. Oh my god, Jax, my god. He looks so sexy.
Round one. Fight.
Why are they not doing like intros? Are they like disabled for the pre-order beta? I'd let Jax break my back. Did that rhyme? Okay, bars.
You dare threaten royalty?
Round two. Fight.
Whoa! I loved that cartwheel, Miss Kitana. Oh! That is nasty. I need a fan cam with that. I love how she does that. Oh, she said, don't touch me. Oh, I love that. That move is so cunty. Look at that. Oh, back it up. She said, watch yourself. So, so are these fatal blows always, like, dual?
Finish him.
Hi, Divine. Oh my god, they give you no time to do a fatality anymore.
Kitana wins.
Kitana win. Thanks, Divine. Yeah, I've actually been doing my makeup with no mirror lately, so that explains why I haven't really loved my makeup lately, but today I really like it.
Round one. Fight.
Now there's music. Oh, I can't fix it in here. I was gonna turn up the music and turn down the sound effects. I'm a little congested. I think I'm coming to the end of the cough, hopefully. It's just like a lot of congestion to get everything out of my system. Looking, please. Oh. Whoa. Uh-oh. Yeah, I wish you could turn that off. Like, I just want to see myself serve it up. That's my only complaint with this new game, is that I wish you could turn off the cameo fighters, you know? Maybe they'll add a patch in eventually. Hi, Sapphire. So I'm getting gagged foods. What? Yeah, it's really smooth. And I'm playing on console, so I can imagine how amazing it's gonna look on PC. Yeah. I can't wait to play Serena. She's gonna be my main, like, cameo bitch. Or maybe even, I think Reptile or whatever her name was, the lizard girl. Chameleon.
Finish him.
Okay, I tried.
Kitana wins.
Ooh, Kenshi. Sexy. No, everything looks nice. I love this map. This one, the interior. Okay. I love that move. The cartwheel, like, gorgeous flow. I like how, like, Kitana's moves feels like a dance. Like, it feels like everything is so elegant. Oh!
There's nothing you can do.
That was a good one.
To fight.
Oh! The way she laid there for a second. Oh, the way she kicked the fan. Ooh, RKO.
Finish him.
What is it? I keep messing it up. We'll get it one day.
Wins.
I'm determined. I'll get it in this next game. Please, skin.
Fight.
Stunger. Oh! Stungy. SpongeBob Stungy Pants. So are they gonna let us get alternate outfits in this game or what? Or what? Like, what's the tea? Mr. Kano, I mean not Kano. Jack's back there with his shirt off. Ooh. Oh, you missed. Haha, loser.
You will learn respect.
Okay, I know Sonya is supposed to be like a serve, but she kind of just looks like Lacey Evans, and it makes me like so not love it. Oh, not too much. Oh my god, like, can we have Jax on the screen at all times? Can you not play as him? I want to just stare at him. Need to sip a drink in that pool? I want to drink the water in that pool. Nobody pee in the pool. I want to take a sip of the water. It looks yummy. Oh yeah, Lacey deserved it. You deserve it! Lacey getting fired. Oh, she blocked it. Oh, she blocked me, Boots. Oh! It's okay, Jax is on my screen. I'm fine.
You dare threaten royalty?
Final round.
It's just Howard online versus in the beta. Yeah. I want cunty outfits though. I hope they like. I mean, they showed one for Tanya, right? That like alternate outfit. That's like a modern outfit. She has sneaker heels. Did you see that? Oh. Well, let's be clear. Every man in this game needs a jockstrap skin, shirtless. Ed Boon, take a note on that. Oh my god, it's so close! Ah! Fuck. Okay. I let her win so I could see Jax in the main menu. I wanted to see him there. I let her win. I want to play Deception just for the shits and giggles.
Round one, fight.
Oh. Okay. 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 It seems like the AI has a spike in difficulty when you get high in the towers. I'm also getting high in the towers. Oh, that's not... Well.
You try, but you fail.
Round two, fight.
What is the largest... What is the largest building in the United States? Is it still the World Trade Center?
Enjoying yourself?
Okay, Barb. Barb's in the chat. We're gonna play Call of Duty. Just kidding. She needs to come out. Like, why is Snoop Dogg in the store? Let us play as Nikki. Hi, Darren. Why is this AI gagging me fierce? Stop. Oh my god, she just 2-0'd me.
Kitana wins.
That's my evil twin. Why can't you play as Melina in this beta? Are there any specific characters you're hoping they reveal in the final trailers? One word. Actually, 2 and 2.5, so 3. Sin motherfucking Del. If they don't add motherfucking Sindel in this goddamn fucking game, I swear I am going to walk to the studios myself in a bouncy Sindel triple stacked wig, put on lip gloss, and spit in front of WB NetherRealm Studios if they don't put fucking Sindel in this goddamn game. But thank you so much for sponsoring the stream. We love. I need her in the game, like, please. She's the only one I need, and I'm like, okay, this game is Fierce Boots. Like, I love Jade, but I've never played Jade. I would love to see her in the game, maybe DLC. Nitara would be cool, but like, y'all can't outdo Sindel the doll. Sindel is the diva, the doll. Walk up to them and scream in their faces like Sindel, yeah. I have that ability on people. I'll scream like that IRL, it works. I break the sound barrier. I'll break the sound barrier for you. Sorry, that's a gay movie reference. Y'all see that gay movie? As much as I loved it, I can make fun of it. Can this bitch back up? Yeah, fuck off, Jax. I like that you can cut them, that's funny. There are so many men in this game, it's kind of disappointing, but it's fine, I guess. Well, if you really think about it, the reason why there's so many men in this game, because this is like, this is what NetherRealm in Mortal Kombat, honestly, as much as the gays love it, they think their market is the straight guys. That's what they're trying to sell to, but in reality, it's the gays and the girls that they need to be selling to. They don't know that, but we gotta let them know that for next time. So they're putting all the men in because they're like, oh yeah, like, we're catering to the men's market, but that's what they think. Hi, Donnie. If they do, I hope she's like OG Sindel. I just hope it's a really cunty model, because if she doesn't look good, I'm gonna be upset, because she looks so good in 11. In reference to Sindel. Yeah, the way the Kombat 1 pack has no women. They could have put Harley in there. Excuse you, Mr. Cage. Do the split. Wait, he's kind of caked up though. Hold on. Wait a second. Pause. Oh, it doesn't show. I wanted to look. Look at his butt! I am looking disrespectfully because I can do what I want. Oh! Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, damn! I'm not. The way he ducked out of the way. I know, we need more girlies. We definitely need more girlies. Excuse me. I choked on the air and the mucus in my throat, but we're not gonna talk about that. Can you fuck off? Oh my god! Can you and your conservative girlfriend back it up? You need to dump her. I like the sound effects for him, it's fun. Why did you do that, Sonia? Can I please? I don't have a lot of things in life. Okay. Wait. I haven't done a fatality this entire tower. Fuck!
Kitana wins.
But if it was like, you can't play again, I'd be like, oh! Okay, I want to just see her, I want to see her fatality.
Frost.
Let's do very easy. Ugh. I wonder why they gave out of everyone, they gave Sonya her OG outfit for the very first. Yeah, that is odd.
Round one. Fight.
Maybe that's what people were requesting. Let's get a developer meeting. Developer. A developer. Oh, really? Was that confirmed? Cameos are only getting classic outfits? Reptile is so hot. The crocodile guy, alligator guy. Oh my god. Like, I need him biblically, metaphorically, physically, inside me, in my dreams, in my nightmares, everywhere, in my bed, in my ass, like everywhere. He is so fine. And like, I feel like he knows how to treat a woman right. He's not like disrespectful or gross about it. Like, he looks like he's good. Did I read? Absolutely. Did I talk shit? Absolutely. That's a Delta Work reference. Ooh, Havoc's hot too. See, I'm not mad if the men are hot, but like, you still need to give us the girlies. Like, you can't. I don't know per se, but it says it's in their. Oh, okay, cute. Down, right, down, circle.
Finish him.
Down, right, down, circle.
Kitana wins.
Well. Yeah, guys, also, if you're really interested in me reacting to the live trailers we're gonna get at Gamescom, that's what my channel does. If you haven't looked at my YouTube channel, I live stream my live reactions. Girl, those streams, I think they're at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'm gonna be getting up at 7 a.m. for you bitches, up in full high whore drags. So I hope to see some of you there. I'm excited for Gamescom. Hopefully some good game releases so I don't wake up at the ass crack of dawn for nothing. Yeah, I'm very excited. We're gonna be live streaming it, which is fun. Okay, why is she gagging me for, can we, hello? Okay, finisher, am I doing it correctly? Why are you waking up in my ass crack? Cause I know you like it there, baby. Fatality. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see Kitana's first. I wish there was more to pick from in this beta. I find it very strange that there's like not a lot of people to pick from. I find it very strange you can't play as Melina. Very strange. Considering she was one of the first people released. But you can play as Lee Mei? Like what? Very odd. Oh, thanks, Ben. I love the firework effects on Lima. We'll play her next. I just need to see this fatality, Kitana, please! Not too much. Okay. Oh. Oh! Not me getting bored. Move list. Finishers. Royal Blender. Down, left, down, circle. I swear I'm doing it, yo!
Kitana wins. Round one, fight.
I think you have to do it more slowly. Paul. I mean, we'll try it. I'm only doing this very easy tower to see the fatality. Okay, you're a very easy computer. You can relax. Stay in your lane. Also, can we talk about Kitana's hair? Look at that movement. Oh, that was a nice combo. The hair is moving, honey. She said inches. Okay. They give her human hair bundles. Meanwhile, Kano's a baldy. Hi, bald. I think Frost looks good in this game. I like how she looks.
Round 2.
Oh my god, excuse me. Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, he was so fine. I mean, so we're waiting to finish the Mortal Kombat 11 story because I'm gonna do a collaboration with G Fuel because they're coming out with some Mortal Kombat stuff. Probably not allowed to say that, but I just said it. So we're waiting to do the story. But he's so, when we played the base game story, he's so fine in that. We are the Mortal Kombat girly pop channel for the season. We got sponsored, we got collabs, we got the merch, we got everything. I'm excited for Mortal Kombat 1. Oh, Cassie looks so good. I'm gonna miss her. I wish they would bring her back. Even as a cameo, I'd be happy for her. Not that I like, that's like good for, I know some people don't want cameo fighters, but like even just to have your character in the game, I don't know. I would be upset if you couldn't play them. If Sindel is a cameo fighter, I might have to retire every collaboration I'm gonna be doing with Mortal Kombat. I'll be Pluckzilla'd. I'll be like, show's over. Yeah, so how do you guys feel about the DLC Pack 1? Like, y'all saw my thoughts and opinions on it. I think it's lazy.
Stop staring.
Round 2. Fight.
Yeah, I am excited to see... What is it again? Can someone list the names of the characters in Pack 1? Is Quan Chi in it? Am I crazy? I thought he was in it. Yeah, I'm excited for Quan Chi. I like Quan Chi. Okay.
Kitana wins.
Never getting this fatality. Yeah, the John Cena pick is so not necessary. Like, that show is tired. Nobody watched it. If you did, you already forgot about it. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, not a fan. Takada's an okay pick. Would have probably chose Cassie over him from the Kombat Kids. Quan Chi definitely deserved his spot. Ermac I think did too, but they need to fix his face. Homelander and Omni-Man too. It's like, yeah, those cartoons are fun and fresh, but why the fuck, to this day, if Uma Thurman was gonna be in a fucking game, it was gonna be Mortal Kombat. And why the fuck is she not in Mortal Kombat? Kill Bill? That bitch? Uma Thurman? Like, why has she not been in any fucking video game ever? Like... Okay, I love you guys. I love my community. I love everybody. But, like, anytime someone says Bayonetta for Mortal Kombat, You guys are living in your Delulu land. Like, I love you guys. I am definitely delusional as well, but that is never going to happen. Like, never. And I will eat my own shoe. I will do cake farts live on stream if it ends up being Kombat Pack 2, but it is never gonna happen. Like, so many people, like, on Twitter will be like, yeah, that's gonna happen. Like, she's gonna be in Kombat Pack 2. I'm like, guys, no. Like, it's just, if it's anyone, it's gonna be Harley Quinn, Kill Bill, Uma Thurman, or, I don't even know, like, maybe Sadako from The Ring. For, like, for guest character slots for women. Or maybe even Juliet from Lollipop Chainsaw, but even that's a stretch. Wait, isn't Juliet from Lollipop Chainsaw, isn't that a Warner Bros. Game or a published game? I would be okay with Deadpool. I'd be okay with Deadpool over fucking John Cena. Okay, they literally give you no time to do a fatality in this game. And the other game, it was like you could go to dinner, go take errands, and come back, and you could still do it. There was a lot of time. Hello? The government let out the aliens, you guys. I just think it's like... I think Kombat Pack 2, ideally... I know I might get hate for this, but I really want to see Devora. Devora and Cassie Cage, I think, deserve a spot back. I think they're both great new characters for the franchise that did successful in... As much as you want to hate Devora, as much... Like, y'all, I am a Melina stan, and I hated when she died to Devora. But take a look back at the story writing of Devora in Mortal Kombat, and her character design and everything, like... She is an iconic, unique character, a new villain, a really good character, very unique. Unique! Like, I think she deserves a spot. And I also think that Cassie deserved Takada's spot, so they should put her in. And then on top of that, they should add Harley, because they had Joker last year. Ideally, I think those are possible. I really don't know, besides Uma Thurman, like, what guest character for women, or, like... who they could do. Hi, Metapedia. Like, I'm thinking, like, who do you think they would add for men for Kombat Pack 2? Like, at most there should be 3. I would like to see Deadpool, but that's very unlikely. But that would be cunty. For men. If they added Nightwing, oh, panties on the floor. And they give him, like, a jiggly booty with physics, oh. Oh, bitch. Oh, did you see that? That was cunty. Oh! Oh, Sonya countered it. Okay, back it up, Miss Thing. Oh, I didn't know you could spam her. Oh my god, I'm never gonna get a fatality. I just did 10 extra matches to try to get a fatality. Down, left, down. Is there something I'm not getting here? Circle. Circle's right here. Well, kinda close. Okay, well I'll get right up in his coochie next game.
Kitana wins.
Oh, Gotham Knights. I want to play Gotham Knights. We never finished it. Do you guys remember? I was so excited for that game. Also, one of my favorite looks comes from that stream when we played Gotham Knights. I was so excited for that game, and then to find out there was no Selena Kyle, Catwoman. The only person was Harley Quinn, and she was, like, nowhere to be found after her story. There was no Poison Ivy. There's no Black Canary, but there's pictures of her on the wall. There was no Huntress. No girls in that game. I was so mad. But I would go back to stare at Nightwing's ass.
Kitana. Jax.
Yeah, why wasn't there any DLC? I thought the pre-order had DLC in it. Hi, Kyros.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, I'm getting my fatality this episode. This episode, like it's a TV show. It's a whole anime story arc of me getting my fatality, like it's a superpower in like the animes. I'm gonna overcome this, and I'm gonna use my fatality. My fatality? Ooh, wait. Okay, what would your fatality be? Mine? Ooh, I have two. I think my... Oh, I'll do a fatal blow and a fatality. So my fatality would definitely be... I'm like, my moveset in Mortal Kombat, I would be with a purse. Because I like always have a purse. Like I always get compliments on my purses. So like I would have a purse or a backpack. I would take the backpack off. I would slap him back and forth a couple times. I would put it like right here, grab something out of it. Guess what's in it? Poppers. I pour the poppers all over the guy's face, and then I flick him like that, and then he falls to the floor, and I step on him with my heels, and all over his body. Done. Acid in the eyes, poppers in the eyes. Done. Heels in the face. Done. Over. That'd be my fatality. Oh, it's a wrap.
Fight.
Can someone animate that? Fuck. Ooh, I'm funny. I cracked myself up. Okay, but what if they add me as DLC? Okay, like I'm in Kombat Pack 2. Oh my god, I won.
Finish him.
Okay, we're gonna look at it one more time so I'm not crazy. Oh, I've been sitting on my leg this whole time. Well, you, okay, never mind. Okay.
Kitana wins.
I'll get it one day. Sorry, I thought I unmuted my mic. Try to mute it when I cough, because that's gross. I'm trying, you guys, I'm trying. God, Jax's fucking titties. I just want to go. Sorry.
Fight.
Damn, Jax, your titties. Oh. Oh, and you're gagged. Oh, and you're gagged. Oh, and you're gagged. Oh, and you're oh. Okay, I'm gagged. Oh, and you're gagged. Oh, and you're gagged. Oh, and you're gagged. Oh, gagged. Okay, not too much. I was kidding. Okay. Oh, I love Big E. I want to meet him in Kofi. Kofi is like my part of my childhood. Love him. When I met Wesley, oh, it was over for me. That's my boyfriend.
Fight.
Not actually, but like I want to be. Please, I have a lot to offer. He was so sweet to me too. I'll never forget that day. I was in a room of like straight guys, and like I was one of the only like female presenting. I think I was like one of maybe 6 women in the establishment, and there were like over 80 men. And Wes looked at me in full drag and was like, hi, nice to meet you. Like, introduced himself to me. He was like, hi, nice to meet you. And I was like, I know who you are. And this was at Royal Rumble last year. And I was like, oh my god, can we get a picture? Can we get a selfie? And there was like this photo booth thing, and like you had to go like through ring ropes. And he held the ring ropes for me, and I was like, oh my god, we're like Miz and Maurice, but like we're hotter. And he like laughed and giggled. I was like, ah! Love that man. Okay, I'm gonna get it this time. Down, right, down, circle. Watch.
Kitana wins.
No, because you saw that. You clocked it. You guys saw that.
Round one, fight.
I wish Lee May's ponytail. I know this is me asking a lot and just wanting everything to be draggier. I wish it was fuller and I wish it was longer. Like, I hate the way it cuts off. It's like at her shoulders. I want it like down, like I want it Ariana Grande ponytail down to the floor. I want it sweeping on the floor. I want her to use it like Bianca Belair hair whip. Like, I don't know. Okay, can you please? What is your problem? You need to stay in your lane. You're a easy AI. Oh! That was gorgeous, that like animation.
Round two, fight.
So like, I don't know a lot about Lee May. Like, what is her story? Like, I don't even know who she is. I never played the, like... I never played Deception and like Retro and all those games. I only played like the main titles. That was a really good combo. I have no idea how I did that, but it was fierce. Girl, please. You are literally a very easy AI. I really need you to stay in your lane. Like, please stop. Oh, she was gagged. I should do a Kitana look. I don't know why I haven't. I've done Sindel, Melina. Those are my two. But my Sindel cosplay is just my Melina one, just like cropped off. I know Pibby has a really sexy Kitana cosplay. Everybody follow Queen Pib. Another retro variety streamer, we stand. No, no, no. No, because I gagged her. Okay. Am I supposed to hold square? No. Maybe that's it.
Finish her. Kitana wins.
I wonder if it has to do with something in my settings. Oh. I wish there was a training. Let's change the audio. Okay, cinema we can turn down. I want music up. Effects can be turned down.
Scorpion.
You defy it.
I want to hear the music.
You defile the link.
Maybe this is it. Oh, that's not.
Kitana. Jax.
Sorry, that one came out of nowhere.
Round one. Fight.
Oh my god, why does it feel so much better now? I don't know what I just did, but I definitely did something. Oh my god, look at how I cleared her like that.
You dare threaten royalty?
Round two. Fight.
I'm gonna turn it up now because I turned down the volume. Excuse me. Oh! I'll be gagged if that was the reason why it wasn't working.
Finish her.
Damn, it wasn't. I mean, the game feels better now, so... I don't know what I pressed to make it, or like what those buttons input in the settings menu was, but... feels better. Much better.
Round one.
Love this map. This is my favorite map so far. See, I like the music. Do you hear the music? Like, I just want to hear the music. Oh my god, I was like, that was such a good combo.
You dare threaten royalty?
Round
Did Jax just dab?
fight.
Okay, the music now is it's pussy poppin'. Oh, oh, oh. Oh!
Finish him. Kitana wins.
I seriously wonder why it's not working. I must be the only Kitana player having this issue. Oh! I need to use the restroom really quick. So I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay. Ooh, these rhinestones are really cutting into my armpits. Okay. Thank you.
Round
Let's see if I can hit Lee May's.
Lee May. Frost.
Maybe Katana's the issue.
Round one. Fight.
Oh! That back kick? Okay.
I will prevail.
Round 2, fight.
She is straight combat. Like, she's like fighter. Oh!
Forgive me, Argus.
Brutality.
Wait, I did that on accident.
Wins.
Well.
Round 1, fight.
Is she in a kitten heel? Not sure I'm a fan.
Justice is for all.
Round 2, fight.
Oh.
Finish him.
I did it first try. That's so cunty.
Fatality. Lee May wins.
Okay, I think I know what the issue with Kitana might be, why I'm not being able to land it. Wait, so...
Round 1.
Oh, cameos have their own fatality? Let me try landing that. Oh look, Lei Mei has a different outfit. Oh no, it's just a different color. I'm excited to see what the customization of the story is like in this. Because didn't they say they're getting rid of the crypt or something? I saw talks of that. Not so sure though. Which one am I? Okay. Evil twin. Okay. Okay, now we definitely have to do that. I didn't know they had hello? Kind of far away from my console, so it sometimes freaks out.
Failure isn't an option.
Round 2, fight.
Can we even fight? Or is it just like random online matching? I'm just trying her out. I'm not I don't think I'll play Lei Mei or Kitana in the main game. If I'm honest. Oh. Like, I like this fight style, but it's just like not my style, if that makes sense.
Finish her.
Hopefully Sindel that gets announced, hopefully in the next couple days. The way I will gonna scream if she gets announced. I'll wear my Sindel wig to manifest it. Cameo moves. Left to right, R1. Which one's R1? I did it!
Fatality. Lee May wins.
It's kind of weak. Not a big fan of that. Alright, let's try Kitana and Sonya?
Round one.
Yeah, I hope Nitara. So the leaks, right? So the rumored leaks say that our next batch is Nitara, Sindel, Shao Kahn. Who else? I know everybody's basing everything off that leak. But if it's not true, and then there's like a question mark person, I'm like, who is that? Tell me.
Kitana. Sonya Blade.
I really hope so too. Could you imagine if like Jade is like an evil, because they call her, what do they call her? Mistress or something? They call her like sorceress or something scary.
Round one. Fight.
Okay, I can't even get a fucking hit in. There's one. Okay, you want to play that? I'll hit you with my cameo, sir. I hope Shao Kahn is in because I think Shao Kahn's hot. Sorry. I'm just real. And you know what? In the same token, I think Baraka's hot. So you know what? Gag on it. And I would gag on it. Him and Reptile, same time. I'm so sorry. I'm actually not, but I'm just sorry that I said it out loud.
Black vision.
You will learn respect.
Right!
Round two. Fight.
Speedo, no shirt on. I want it all out. I want it all exposed. Brave. So brave. What is the next month we're going into? September? We're in August. So this comes out next month.
Feel belittled.
Oh! Uh-oh. Oh, gag on it. He's so gagged right now.
Finish
Okay, I think I know what I was doing wrong all of these matches.
him.
Alright, I lied.
Kitana wins.
Why does it skip their interaction? They're supposed to like face off in the why does it skip that?
Round one. Fight.
Is it because story spoilers? Oh, maybe. That could be true. Oh, really? Huh.
You will learn respect.
Round 2, fight.
Oh, he was gagged. Okay, I have it this time.
Kitana wins.
Fuck! I'll get it eventually, I swear.
Round 1, fight.
Okay. Wait, can you not play a scorpion? Yeah, I'm gonna try far away.
You will learn respect.
Round 2, fight.
I'll probably play it later, honestly. I was playing a lot of it yesterday. I just took the day off and played it.
Finish.
Okay, down, left, down, circle. Damn. I just really can't get it.
Wins.
Let me try Sonya's fatality then.
Round 1, fight.
Trying to figure out what the input is to do that spiral move.
I make it look easy.
Round 2, fight.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I really like the game. I just think my only complaint is the cameo fighters. Like, It just feels corny to me. Like, it doesn't feel like... It feels like in Mortal Kombat 10 when you did the towers and you would play with like a character as your assist. I just am not a fan, and that's okay. Like, I'm still gonna play the game and buy it. It's just like, I don't know. I'm just like,
Surrender to me.
I want the fight to be between Li Mei and Kitana. I don't need Sonya and Jax here being like,
Judgment.
like, I don't need this weird, I don't know. We can be critical of the game. Everything else though, like the stages are gorgeous. The gameplay feels really smooth. I'm playing on console, so like imagine it on PC, like it's gonna look amazing. Okay, my controller is bugging out. RKO! Oh! Oh, Dylan, thank you for 32 months. How you doing, babe? Okay, let me do Sonya's because for whatever reason, I cannot get... Oh, kiss. Left, right, down, R1. Okay, well, my controller bugged out, so...
Kitana win.
Oh, dorm hall, dorm room showcase, room tour.
Round one, fight.
Oh. I love that move so much.
Stop staring.
Round two, fight.
Oh. I might like the cameos more when we get the main game and I can play with other cameos. So I really want to play with Serena. I really want to play with Chameleon. I'm about to die. You're able to play as Johnny, Kitana, Li Mei, Sub-Zero, and
Finish her.
hold on. Well, my controller bugged out again.
Kitana win.
They don't give you enough time. Give me more time.
Round one, fight.
Oh, Kenshi. Oh, and Liu Kang. And then for cameos, there's these four. So how many cameos are there? There's 8 and 8, which is 16 cameos. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24 characters playable. I wonder where the DLC characters are gonna go. I have to go to the bathroom again, I'm sorry. JK, someone's in there. Oh my god, we've already been going an hour and 30 minutes? Crazy. An hour and 30 minutes and I can't land a single ult with Kitana. Mm-mm. I know, I'm excited to see what they do with the cosmetics. Like, what's gonna be the difference? Oh my god, ow. So who are we waiting to play? Oh, I want to play Ashura so bad. God damn it, how many days until release? Mortal Kombat 1 release date. September 14th, so less than a month. Boop. Is there any beta codes to give away? Unfortunately not. I think you, because I can't give away beta codes, it's the pre-order. Alright, I want to see if I can do the other characters. Because I can't do katanas, so I'll go fuck myself.
Johnny Cage. Jax.
Oh!
Missed your mark.
Okay. Okay.
Like that? Hell yeah, you did.
Round 2, fight.
I need Johnny Cage shirtless now. Wait, I can taunt. Okay, never mind. Hey, Charlie. Oh my god. Okay. We haven't seen this yet. Oh! That's cunty.
Finish him.
Okay, what is the... When I do this first try, I'll actually gag. Okay. I hate my life.
Talk about talent. Meet Hollywood's newest star.
Oh!
Fatality.
That's cute. That's funny. I like that. That's the best one so far, in my opinion. I like that one a lot.
Round 1, fight.
Oh, I like Jax's pants. Did you see they're like pink? Yeah, the fire. I love that all of her moves have the fireworks. It's really pretty.
Martini shot. What cue cards help?
Round 2.
Ooh, I gagged him fiercely that round.
On brand. Missed me.
Oh, he has like a counter. Oh. Not too much. Downright down R1.
Finish him.
Well, it didn't work.
Bring it.
Johnny Cage wins.
Ooh, they're so hot. I can't. It's the way some of them I can do first try, and then the other ones I'm like struggling and fighting for my life to get their
Round
fatality.
1, fight.
Beat out. Smash to black. My agent's tougher than you.
Round 2, fight.
one.
Finish him.
That is not true. I do not know who that is. Downright down R1.
Bring it.
Okay.
Johnny Cage wins. Can she? Sonya Blade.
I just want to see the fatalities, and I'm struggling.
Round one, fight.
Okay, I haven't played as him yet either. Oh! What the? Oh my god!
I use all my senses.
Round two, fight.
Okay, well my controller fucked up again!
Can she wins?
Santa's coming tonight. Santa's coming tonight. It's not Christmas.
Round one, fight.
Can't you see?
Oh. You heard me. Don't make me repeat myself. The way that was a perfect.
Expect the unexpected.
Round
Oh my god, Big
two,
Brother Stan.
fight.
Who's watching Big Brother this season? I'm not. Okay.
So disappointing.
Enough already.
No. Okay, this character is kind of cracked. I fear.
Finish her.
Oh, I did it. Oh. Oh!
Fatality. Can she wins?
Oh, wow. Excuse me? Okay.
Round one.
Let's see if I can get Sonya's fatality. For Christ's sake.
Which one of us is
Round
blind?
two. Fight.
So which one is Sonya's? I assume far?
Are you finished?
Finish him. Can she wins?
Whose fatality do we still have to see? We see Jax's, Sonya's, Kitana's,
Round one. Fight.
Sub-Zero's.
Can't you see? Not your best. No match for my steel.
Round two. Fight. Finish him.
Fuck. I fucked up.
Can she wins? Round one. Fight.
You want it?
Wait, I just got a perfect.
Unexpected.
Round two. Fight. Finish him.
Never gonna get it, dude. I don't know why I can't get it.
Liu Kang.
I can't get any of the cameo fighter. I haven't gotten a single one of them.
Kano. Round one. Fight.
Hi, potato. First time playing and I accidentally did medium difficulty. Well, at least on Liu Kang.
The past guide.
Round 2, fight.
Oh my god, I gagged that.
Never return.
Finish her.
Oh my god, I suck at this.
Liu Kang wins.
Not this Frost team. I'm gonna be frozen forever.
Round 1, fight.
Are you hibernating? The past guide.
Round 2, fight.
Oh, really? I see it. The freezing is really good for like breaking up combos and starting combos.
Finish him.
Oh my god, I did it. Oh wow.
Fatality.
Lots of like skinning alive for the fatalities. Sonya is Ronda Rousey.
Round 1, fight.
You lie. You lie like a dog. No way. It's still Ronda. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna barf. Ronda single-handedly made the Mortal Kombat 11 story so unserious from her voice acting. It kind of ruined Sonya for me.
Round 2.
I'm gonna turn off all the music and stuff and investigate this in a second. And we'll get to the bottom of this.
On brand.
The laugh track? That's funny. That's funny. Oh my god. Excuse me. Is it really? Oh, we haven't seen Liu Kang's Fatal Brillo. I love the like spell effects for him.
Finish him.
Like the red and the blue is really pretty. Heart Ripper, left, right. Left, down, right, R1. Well.
Liu Kang wins.
I'm never gonna get some of these fatalities. I might as well just look it up on YouTube at this point. I don't know why I can't get it. Like, it's not like I'm a noob to inputs. Alright, let's investigate this Ronda Rousey business.
Score.
You'd file the link.
What is our best option to get her voice? Forward grab. Is it gonna be in fucking sound effects that I have to... I did not want to do medium, but it's fine. Yeah, it was in sound effects, lol. Say something, Rhonda. The way it's like dead quiet. It doesn't sound like her from what
You will learn respect.
from what I hear, but we're only hearing grunting. It sounds really high pitched. Are you sure it's Rhonda? See if I can land her fatality.
Smash to black.
Rhonda, please, this is the one time.
On.
I need you to speak, Rhonda, please. The laugh track? Damn it. Do the cameo fighters come out when you do online? Like, do they do like the fight thing, or is it just between the two main characters when they have the face off? Will she talk in there? Let's see. I actually can't. I actually can't. Because I need online to do that. And I do not have online. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom again. JK. What the fuck? Why is that so loud?
Score.
You.
Kitana.
Can I please get these fatalities? I just want to see them. I'm literally begging. Did she really get deconfirmed? What did they say? Hold on, type it while I go to the bathroom really quick. Well, Ed Boon is like a tease. Like he's not really truthful about anything.
Round 1. Fight.
Nice.
It will be less painful to concede.
Round 2. Fight.
What is that bar at the bottom supposed to do? Bottom left? Uh-oh. I hope so. Oh, gotcha. I really liked her design in this game. Like, the demon, like, iconic. Like, it's just so good. Alright, let me try again, for fuck's sake. Oh my god, I just want to do it once! Please! Why can't I do it? I've been struggling for 2 hours now just to land it and I can't. They fall so fast.
Round one.
Sunny, thank you for the follow.
Brace yourself.
Oh, my controller is struggling right now. I see Barry. How you doing? Oh! Oh my god, my controller.
Round two, fight.
Are we okay? I like that it's kind of like a reference, but I don't like how... I wish there were alternative ones. Because, like, seeing Sonya do this backbend thing every time, I'm like, girl, please. I also don't like that the cameos start. Like, I want to see my character do the fatal blow, not you. I don't know, I'm excited for the main release. This is also a beta, so this is all just... No!
Kitana wins.
Why can't I land it?
Round one, fight.
Oh! Oh, that was rude. Not you deserve this. Oh! Not too much. Oh my god. Oh! Oh!
You dare threaten royalty?
Round two, fight. Finish her.
Maybe I have to be up close. I'm gonna try really far away next game.
Kitana.
Yeah, I really like the colors and the particle effects for her. It's really pretty. Alright, if I can't land her fatality this game, I don't know. I'm gonna lose my... Is it that serious, Ma? People with the obsession of making their cars and motorcycles make so much loud noise, like... You're just a freak. And you have a sad life. Oh!
Quit wasting my time.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh, combo. Down, left, down, circle.
Kitana wins.
Kitana wins, yeah. I wonder if Final Fantasy came in the mail yet. Excuse me.
Round 1. Fight.
Round 1. Poopy. I just want to see Kitana's fatality. Wow, 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 wow. Wop 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 wop. Hi Key, how you doing, baby? I'm struggling for the last 2 hours of trying to do Kitana's finisher, and it hasn't been working because I'm a flop.
You try, but you fail.
Round 2. Fight.
Okay, you can back it up a little bit. I'm so excited about Gamescom next week, and especially because we're gonna get a Mortal Kombat trailer. I'm so excited. I've been missing doing the live reactions. We haven't had a live reaction showcase since... Well, we had one in Australia, but I was sick for it. It was terrible. And it wasn't terrible. It was actually a really good live show, but I didn't have access to like my setup like I do now. So it's been a hot minute. Okay. Exactly. See, you got it. Have you been enjoying Fontaine? Have you played Genshin yet, Key?
Finish him.
Okay, I'm convinced it's back here, and then you do... Yes! Oh my god!
Fatality.
We did it, Joe. We did it. It took me like maybe 3 hours to do that, but we did it. We did it, Joe. Can we get 2 for 2? Can I get Sonya's next?
Round 1. Fight.
That's so real. I think it would do good though if you can get there. Like just traveling underwater is like so like it's so peaceful and it really puts my mind at ease. Yeah, they do. We've only been able to get 1. I don't think they're as impressive as from the one I've seen. It hasn't really shown out like the main character fatalities, but we'll have to see.
loyalty.
Round 2.
I'll try to do the far away thing with Sonya too. Sonya? Sona is a League of Legends champion, not a Mortal Kombat character.
Losing your nerve.
I do like that the cameo fighters do have fatalities though. That's a nice touch. If they're gonna be there, I would have been upset if they didn't have their own fatalities. If they're just gonna be in our space the entire time. All right. Left, right, down, R1.
Finish her.
Fuck!
Kitana.
They should bring back harakiris. I want harakiris where they unalive themselves. It's honestly camp. A lot of them were so campy. I'm gonna go see if Final Fantasy came in the mail, and then we can switch to that. Oh, my feathers are coming off. Did they really? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go check. It has not been delivered. We lost. All right. Oh! Okay. All right, I think that's going to be the end of the pre-order bonus beta. We're going to switch over to something else, but thank you so much to WB and Mortal Kombat for sponsoring this portion of the stream. We've played it for the last 2 and almost a half hours, so thank you so much, and I'm excited for the main release. If you guys want to buy the game now, you can play in the beta on PS5 and new-gen Xbox consoles, and we'll play the game when it comes out in September. But thank you so much for the sponsorship. Yo. That tweet you sent, I like literally didn't know how to pronounce, like, spell it. I guess you're just on my mind. I know, literally. I remember when it got announced and it's like literally next month. Isn't that crazy?